What's up, co-reporters? Welcome back to my channel. It's time for a recap of what went down on this week's episode of Teen Mom Next Chapter. Per usual, I watched the show using Philo, and if you too would like to binge on Teen Mom Next Chapter, I've got an affiliate link in the description box of this video to where you can sign up for Philo for free for 1 week. Okay, you guys? Now, let's get into it. Don't forget, again, I'm not in my usual space, so I'm not able to get the photos. I've got a 9-year-old boss who's very, very bossy, so I have to get like a chop move on my videos, right? So let's get into what went down. Spoiler alert, David Eason conned Jenelle Evans into buying him a dirt bike, and I don't feel bad about it at all. We'll get into that a little bit later, but the episode kicked off with Jade talking about homeschooling Chloe, running a salon, and doing real estate. She officially got her real estate license just like Leah did, and I just don't understand why she's doing all of these things. What is the point of your husband if you are still supposed to like do all these things? Like, you're a single mom. Like, I don't get it. I really don't. Someone please help me figure out what it is that Sean does and contributes to Jade and Chloe's lives. Now, meanwhile, Caitlin and Tyler are worried that their daughter Veda has some kind of hearing or speaking issue, and they decide to go ahead and get her tested because the school wants to put her on some sort of an individualized education plan. And I gotta be honest, I don't really pay attention much to the storyline because I don't like hearing about these very delicate subjects involving the children. I like the adult drama, right? Like Brittany and Brianna, what's going on with their mom and how they're navigating that, Caitlin's relationship with her mom, Tyler's relationship with his parents, that sort of thing, not really like, oh, is my kid like, is my kid having academic issues? I feel like that's kind of like something that's a little bit too personal in my humble opinion. Now, Jenelle Evans, meanwhile, is still looking for a place to live. When she first came back onto the show, she was speaking to Brianna, getting tours with Brianna on places to live in Florida, potentially. But she does have some sort of a new boyfriend situation per usual. Our girl can never be alone for too long. And now, because of that, she's also looking into moving to Las Vegas. Guys, I'm going to go on the record and say this. I don't think that Las Vegas, and this is no offense to people who live in Vegas, but I personally do not think that it's a good idea for someone like Jenelle, who has a history of substance abuse and addiction, to be living there. I don't think that it's a good idea for someone like that who is like completely ill-equipped to raise children, right? And who has children who are very high at risk for behavioral issues, academic issues, and just having a really rough future, as we've seen play out already. Someone like that should not be living in Vegas, like the city of temptation, the city of gambling, the cities of prostitutes, the city of rugs, the city of like human trafficking. Like it's just not a good place. But of course, that is why Jenelle is looking into it, because this is, where she's at in her brain. She doesn't think clearly. Now, obviously, other people who live in Vegas, like, are normal. They're, well-educated, living well, normal human adult lives. But someone like Jenelle, who's high at risk, I don't love it for her, to be honest with you. So her manager boyfriend situationship, August, he proposes a cannabis line for Jenelle. And she's like talking about how it helps her, like, with like her concentration or this, that. And I'm like, girl, like, you are the poster child for rugs ruining your life with all those mugshots you've got. Who would want to buy from you and go, oh, like, she's proof that this is not just for degenerates. You can really live a nice, productive life, even if you're like, smoking marijuana. Absolutely not. And by the way, why does August speak so slowly? It's like, come on now. I want to press fast forward every time he's speaking. And it seems like he's half asleep. Now, I'm kind of fascinated by the privatization of marijuana in the States because, we've had it legal for years here, but you go to like government-owned dispensaries to buy it. But I'm kind of fascinated by how that works in the US because there's someone else that I watch on reality TV who's got like a cannabis line, Happy Eddie Osefo from the Real Housewives of Potomac. But anyway, that's besides the point. Now, let's get into Florida. Brianna decides to talk to her sister, Brittany, about their mother's methadone use. And so Roxanne told Brianna that she's been using it since Brittany was born, and it's a really long time. Actually, sorry, she told Jade about it, and apparently she's been on it for like 20 plus years, 30 plus years, or something like that. Jade suggests that Brianna gets involved with Al-Anon, which is something that she did, right, as a woman surrounded by addicts in the form of parents and her now husband. Then also in Florida, I guess Mackenzie and Brianna don't really get on like that because we're still not really seeing any scenes of them together, right? Like, I would love to see a crossover of them hanging out together in Florida, but it just doesn't seem like it's in the cards. So her boyfriend, Casanio, his mom is coming to stay with the family for a little bit, and she seems really nice, and her name is Angie, just like Mackenzie's mom, and I thought that was sweet. There was a moment when Mackenzie was talking about how it's very serendipitous that her boyfriend's mom's name is Angie, because she goes, oh, like her name is Angie, just like my mom's is, you know? And I was like, oof, you know, like, yeah, like keep saying like her name is Angie because her name still is Angie, and it's always going to be Angie, and she still lives on in your memories. You know what I mean? So that's like that's what I felt like when she was talking about that. You know, did that kind of like jump out to anybody else, by the way? Now, again, from here, we clip on back over to Caitlin and Tyler's daughters, like academic or educational or, you know, whatever type of thing is going on. Again, I phased it out of my brain because I do not want to hear about the stuff about the children. Give me adult drama, please and thank you. So let's go back to Brianna. This time she's talking to her sister Brittany about the Al-Anon meetings. And Brittany just, you know, she seems very much done with their mom. And honestly, I do not blame her after the way the mom allegedly like cursed her out, threw water at her, like all sorts of stuff. Like I wouldn't really want anything to do with her like that either. And, you know, she's also like, listen, Brianna, you really want to keep this relationship because you've got kids, right? And so you want her to continue being involved as your children's grandma. So I get it. But listen, I'm child free, baby, and I'm not putting up with this for nothing. So I get it. Now let's get into David Eason scamming JENELLE Evans for a dirt bike. The way I cackled when she was telling August about it. She was like, you know, like these creditors called me, and I finally pick up. And they go, oh, JENELLE, like, you know, you need to pay for this like dirt bike. And then JENELLE's like, well, can you have David pay for it? It's his dirt bike. And they go, well, no, he said he's not going to do it. And you know what's the funny part is? He doesn't have to, because JENELLE's name is on like the deed of the dirt bike, but not the title of the dirt bike. So basically he had this dum-dum signed up to pay for the bike, but to have no rights to the bike. If stupid was a person, how stupid are you? Oh my God, this girl is dumb. Dumb. Caps lock letters. Dumb. And you know, normally if it was like honestly, I wouldn't feel bad for a grown-ass woman putting herself in this situation. I can't even say if it was any other girl, I'd feel bad. No. If you're out here paying for a grown-ass man in this patriarchal world, you're paying for his bills, you're paying him a dirt bike, you've got him laid up in your house doing literally nothing while you're out here showing your asshole. I'm sorry to say it, but you're showing your asshole, your cavity on OnlyFans, and this is what you're doing with your money. Girl, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm not going to feel bad when you get robbed. Okay. So, so she's doing all this. This man has never done anything, you know, and you had his kid, you carried his kid, you pushed out his kid, you nursed his kid, and he's doing nothing. And you're still out here buying him dirt bikes. Insanity. He got you to lose custody of these kids multiple times, and you're out here buying him a dirt bike. And you're not even going, oh no, the only way I'll buy it is if I'm both on the title and the deed. That way, if, you know, something happens, it's mine and I can go ahead and sell it off. You know, like just dumb, pure, undiluted, unadulterated stupidity that this girl suffers from. And again, I do not feel bad. David is a terrible person who has done terrible things to her children, to their animals. Okay. And when he went ahead and allegedly strangled her child, what did she do? She went on the internet, led a smear campaign against the child, saying that he's crazy, he's unstable, and the child needs to be protected from him. David needs to be protected from him. So go ahead, JENELLE, pay up for that dirt bike that you have no rights to, you fool. Oh my God. I was just stunned. Come on now. Ladies, if you're going to have a male sugar baby, at least make sure your name is on everything. So when you need to kick him out, you can go ahead and sell that stuff off and get your money so that you can go ahead and waste your money on the next man. Wow. Anyway, Now let's get into Janelle meeting up with a lady for the dispensary or whatever, the weed company that she wants to launch with August. So this girl comes in and it's this, black girl. And so she's sitting there. I'm like, oh, well, I guess she doesn't watch Teen Mom, because like as a black girl, I would not be, signing up to help Janelle Evans with a damn thing, unless I was signing up to scam her. I'd be like, oh, like, you just have to invest $100,000. I've got like this like uncle in Nigeria who's like a prince, and like, like he'll turn it into 10 million. Like that's what I would show up to help her with, not to help her launch her brand, So her name is Adriana. She comes to the backyard of this like place that Janelle and August are at, and they're just so awkward and weird. By the way, I really like standing for these videos because then I could like do like a reenactment. Okay, so here's like how it goes. So they're in the back, right? And they seem like they're stoned out of their minds already because Adriana comes, and then Janelle and August are like this, and then Adriana's there. She's like, "Hi, I'm Adriana. Hi," and then they're just standing there like this, and she's like, and there's chairs there. They don't offer her a seat. Look who's coming here. She wants to do the reenactment with me. And they don't offer her a seat or anything like that, right? And so she's kind of like going, and they're like, oh, you can sit here if you want. We also have bottled water. Like they were just so freaking weird, you know what I mean? And so anyway, like I said, her being black is very relevant because she's going to mention it, right? And it's also very interesting that, someone of a certain, of this complexion, of this background would want to work with Janelle in her history of racism and having a racist husband, right? So, when she's leading in trying to like promote her company and why Janelle should work with this company, this girl goes, we're like a black owned, like, just what is it, dispensary? We're a black owned brand. I'm like, you're talking to a racist woman who doesn't like black people anymore, ever since Hoodie Man, and her husband literally hates black people, right? And he's like a Confederate loving, like unemployed loser. And like, you're talking about, oh, like you should sign up with us. We're a black owned brand. Girl, that's the problem. What are you talking about? So again, I was like, okay, maybe like she doesn't follow the show. She doesn't know like about Janelle's background, right? No, this girl talks about, oh, like I grew up watching you. So you know all about Janelle and who she is and the racism that she and David Eason stand for. And you're out here as a black woman, Adriana, talking about, come work with me. We're a black-owned brand. We're going to make you some money. We need to get your head examined because there's something wrong there. There really, really is. Very strange. So anyway, speaking of black folks, let's go back to Florida where Castaño is with his mama. So again, his mom seems really, really nice. And so I kind of wonder whenever like guys get involved with these girls, especially child-free men who are young and good looking, I'm like, okay, like here's the thing. You get involved with this girl. She's very young. She's got 3 kids. And she has like this history of saying very racially ignorant and insensitive things, right? You want more kids. She's got her tubes tied. Why are you with her? I don't understand. Is there an ulterior motive, right? Remember, it was the same thing where when Leah got with that other guy. What's that other guy? His name? Photo shoot man who wears additional clothing. What is his name? And his hips never lied. What's his name? Jalen. Yeah, like when he came around, I'm like, okay, you're young, you're in good shape. To me, he's not attractive, but I can see him being attractive to other people. You're highly, highly educated. And this is who you want to get with? This like girl who's like functionally illiterate, it's not adding up. I knew who was a fake from the beginning. There's no way. There's no way. Okay, there's no way, right? But when it comes to Jalen, like in his nature and then like seeing the way his mom is and seeing that he's still like rather low key, I don't even know what this man's Instagram is, right? Like it really seems like he's genuinely into this. And then when you see the way that his mom is, I'm like, oh, like they're really like this. They're really just really nice, big hearted people and very accepting people. So go ahead, continue on. Good luck, So yeah, like it was really nice to see her there. So anyway, as he's talking to his mom about Mackenzie, he's like, Mackenzie's like doing life over. I'm sorry, but it just made me laugh because Mackenzie's not even 30 years old, right? And she's divorced, she's got all these kids, and he's talking about she's doing life over. I was like, y'all, this is the risk you run when you move way too quickly into life, like before really knowing yourself. You find yourself not even 30, talk about I'm divorced with 3 kids doing life over, like you're 45 years old, right? Like that kind of made me laugh, and then he says him too. I'm like, what are you doing over in life? Is it because you're like immigrated or something like that? Is that considered doing life over? I personally don't consider it to be in my case, but everyone's different. I don't know. So voila. And then back over in Janelle land, she decides to call her girl Brianna to talk about that marijuana meeting, and then like about the move and stuff. And she like really hints at leaning more towards moving to Vegas because August is there. And Brianna actually gives her good advice, which is, girl, you gotta move for yourself. Don't be moving for no damn man. Move for yourself. And someone like Janelle, who has been through a million relationships, breakups, engagements, divorces, baby daddies, should know better than anyone that, like, you know, romantic relationships are not permanent. You know, like there's a very, very high risk that they will end. There is a, you know, they are more likely to end than to, you know, not end. So don't uproot yourself for a man. You know, let the man uproot himself for you, but don't uproot yourself for a man. And, you know, here's the thing, like she's from North Carolina, which is like a nice, like warm climate. And then Vegas, like Vegas gets a little bit colder in the winter. So like, you got to think about the weather as well. Like if I were thinking, for me it would be Florida. I know Florida's got a reputation, no offense to my Florida folks, but I would prefer to live in Florida over Vegas. I really would. I've been to both, you know, and I feel like Florida is like, you know, climate wise, especially like so much better, you know, like there's so many other cities and stuff you can go visit. I know Vegas, you got Arizona too and stuff, but I don't know, like I prefer Florida, you know, and I feel like it's better for someone like Janelle as well, someone who's like country living type person, you know, like she's never really lived in a big city, you know, a big downtown or anything like that. She's always been more of a rural liver. So I feel like perhaps Vegas would be overwhelming for her. Maybe she could even go next door in Arizona, you know, and then like drive into this area. I don't know. But anyway, I really do hope that I would hope that she'd heed Bree's advice, but we all know she doesn't, you know, she doesn't grow. She doesn't think, she doesn't, you know, change her way of approaching things. So she's not. And I believe she's in Vegas right now. I don't really keep up with her like that anymore, but you know, she most likely is there. So anyway, speaking of August, Janelle goes out to dinner to thank August for his friendship, and they both couldn't be any more monotoned if they tried. They are such a snooze, you guys. The guy, again, he just has like no emotions. Like he's very flat, his affect and stuff. So I really do wonder, like, is it the drugs? You know, like what is going on with him? I don't get it, but whatever. We'll see more as the season progresses. Now, we already know that Janelle's brain is fried from the rugs, but you know, perhaps that's the case with this guy as well. I mean, it would have to be for you to be like, you know. But we won't say that. So let's get back into Florida again. So Mackenzie has a one-on-one conversation with Cassano's mom, and I thought it was really cute. By the way, I do have to say that Mackenzie's kids seem so much more, you know, they seem behaved, you know, period these days. So whatever presence Cassano has in that household is working. You know, they seem so nice, polite. We saw, like, you know, for example, in this photo I just put up, they were helping him cook and stuff. They asked great questions. Like, you know, he's doing a really great job with them. So anyway, Mac has a one-on-one with his mom, and she says that she loves Mackenzie's kids and Mackenzie even before she met them because they make Cassano happy. I'm like, wow, she is so nice. Mackenzie truly lucked out. Now, by the way, what does Cassano do for work? Someone please remind me, because I know when I was watching Teen Mom Family Reunion, he had to leave for some kind of work-related thing, but I don't remember what it actually was that he did for work. So if you know, please tell me. And then they tell Mackenzie, oh, we're going to go out to like lunch together, a little like mother-son lunch situation. And she goes, okay, guys, enjoy. And then when in the car, they say, oh, you know, we're actually going ring shopping. So it's going to be exciting to see, like, you know, the proposal. They wanted some kind of like a rose cut ring for Mackenzie. It looked very pretty, like, you know, very nice, like day-to-day wear size. You know what I mean? Because these days, whenever you see these people on TV, they're getting these like giant, like 10-carat rings or something like that. So it was nice to see something a little bit more practical, a little bit more like, you know, subtle. The big ones are beautiful too, but it's nice to see like the, you know, the smaller rings being represented a bit too. So that was nice. Anyway, you guys, again, I watched Teen Mom Next Chapter using Philo. I have a VPN that I use to watch Philo because I'm not based in the US, but if you're based in the US, you don't need one. If you're based outside the US, I do also have an affiliate link for that too. So check it all out. So you can binge watch Teen Mom Next Chapter, you know, Gypsy Rose's show, the way I'm recapping that like crazy too, anything you want pretty much. That's all for now. Let me know what you thought about this episode in the comment section, and as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.